From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. 2 rockets were fired from Gaza towards the coast of the city of Ashdod overnight Sunday. The projectiles fortunately landed in the Mediterranean Sea, and there were no injuries or damage reported. In response, the IDF tweeted that IDF fighter jets struck military targets belonging to Hamas in Gaza, stressing that the terror group will bear the consequences for terror activity against Israeli civilians. Israeli government ministers met today regarding the possible extension of the country's lockdown, which was put into place to try and lower the number of coronavirus cases there and is set to expire this Thursday. While Israel is leading in vaccinating its residents, cases of COVID-19 are very high. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for the extension, which was approved by the cabinet, to extend until the end of this month. Yesterday, Netanyahu took part in a video conference call led by Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz, together with the prime ministers of Australia, Norway, Denmark, Greece, and the Czech Republic, who all praised Israel's fast-moving vaccine campaign. Netanyahu suggested to the leaders the formation of a conglomeration for research, telling them we must join forces and seriously begin to talk about both scientific research and production and supply, first to our respective countries and then to everyone else. U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman concludes his post this week and yesterday attended Netanyahu's cabinet meeting, where the prime minister said there was never a better ambassador than David Friedman in establishing the deep ties between Israel and the U.S., in correcting the diplomatic injustices that were created over the years in global diplomacy regarding Israel, thanking Friedman for playing a vital role in a number of major events like the moving of the American embassy to Jerusalem and the recognition of the city as Israel's capital.
And I thank you for not only your personal friendship, but for your enormous contribution for prosperity, security, and peace.
Baron Benjamin de Rothschild of the historic Rothschild family has died. The French Jewish banker took over the Edmond de Rothschild group, named for his father in 1997. A well-known philanthropist, just this past April, de Rothschild donated millions of dollars for purchasing medical equipment in 22 hospitals in Israel battling the coronavirus pandemic. De Rothschild suffered a heart attack on Friday at his home in Switzerland. He was 57 years old. While Jewish organizations paid tribute to slain civil rights icon, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. yesterday on MLK Day. The American Jewish Committee, who worked with Dr. King to advance civil rights, shared a photo of their presenting the AJC's highest award to Martin Luther King in 1965, the American Liberties Medallion, writing, "We remain steadfast in our commitment to strengthening Black-Jewish relations and helping fulfill his dream of equality for all." The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations also shared a photo of then-chairman Joachim Prinz, whom they wrote stood with Dr. King at the March on Washington in 1963 and was the last speaker before his I Have a Dream speech. "We honor Dr. King now as we did then and cherish his important legacy." And the IDF took to social media yesterday as well to remember Dr. King, tweeting, "His words of wisdom and vision of truth continue to inspire the world to fight for what's right. Thank you, Dr. King." And citing the civil rights icon's quote, "Peace for Israel means security, and we must stand with all our might to protect her right to exist." This was part of Dr. King's statement to the annual convention on the Rabbinical Assembly just 10 days before his assassination on April the 4th of 1968. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, January the 19th. At 7 o'clock, it's From the Aleph Bet. At 7:30, it's Kosher Movies. At 8, a discussion on the unique values Menachem Begin brought to Israeli politics and the relationship between Israel and American Jews with Malcolm Hoenlein and Don Meridor from the Menachem Begin Heritage Center. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with co-creator and star of the hit Israeli series on Netflix, Fauda, Lior Raz, on L'chaim. At 10, Daniel Gordis speaks about Menachem Begin. And coming up next, a JBS television exclusive of the daily podcast, The Show, with Alan Dershowitz, who shares his personal commentary on events in the news. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.